Welcome to Arcadian. In this channel we have been discussing how to play Dungeons & Dragons, but in this video I will tell you what you actually need to play. Stick around until the end and I'll also tell you how to get all of that for free. So let's start with the very basic. You need to know the rules of D&D, and like in many other games, you can find them in the game manual, which in Dungeons & Dragons is called the Player's Handbook. In this book, you will find the rules of the game, the instructions to create your character, customization options, and a comprehensive list of spells you can use in the game. Since its release, many supplements have been published expanding the array of available spells, ancestries, classes, and customization options, but those are, by definition, optional rules that some DMs might not even allow. So, though you're welcome to explore those options too, you don't really need anything aside from this book. And let me just make a small side note here, because a lot of people get intimidated with the size of this book. But like I've been saying in previous videos, the Player's Handbook is a reference book, not something you're meant to read cover to cover. What this means is that you should only read the parts you need when you need them and not the whole thing. If we're talking about the rules specifically, you only need to read chapters 7 to 10, and that means only 36 pages. Most of what's left is just character creation, and if you need some help with it, you can find my quick guide on the eye up here or down below in the Underdark. After getting your copy of the rulebook, you will need a character to play with. Technically, you could create them and simply write down all the information on a blank sheet of paper, but you'll probably want to fill this, the character sheet. The purpose of this document is to organize all the most important information of your character so it's all readily available and easy to reference during play. You can download for free the official sheet as a fillable PDF from the D&D website, but there are hundreds of other templates, some just minor variations of the official one, some others wonderful artistic interpretations of the base template. Any of these will work, it's just a matter of you finding out which one works best for you. If you intend to play online, you might want a digital character sheet. Most virtual tabletop platforms have form-fillable sheets you can use. Also, there are a lot of apps that allow you to fill your character sheet there, which you can use either at the table or while playing online. Some of them even have native functions to make some rolls automatically or keep track of HP, share your character sheet with your DM and others. The most popular one is D&D Beyond, but beware that a lot of its features are paid, like access to all character options. So after you get your rulebook and your character sheet sorted, what else do you need? Dice. You need dice. These are the most fundamental tools of D&D, which we use to represent probability. There are 7 types of dice used in D&D. We name them after the amount of faces they have. For example, the cubic die, which is the normal die we all know, has 6 faces, so we call it a D6. The D20 is the most important die for you to get because you will use it for sure. All the other ones, you may or may not use them. It will depend on your class, what spells you have, or what weapon you use. For example, if you use a dagger, you will need a D4 to calculate its damage, but if you use a great axe, you will need a D12 instead. If you're a wizard, to calculate your HP, you will roll D6s, but if you're a rogue, it's the D8 you'll roll. Technically, you could get only the specific dice you need, but most retailers sell these 7 in small packs, and I recommend you get one of those, because first, you're not going to play with the same character forever, and second, because if you have all these 7 dice, you won't need any other ever again. If anything, you might want to get multiples of the same die for your own convenience. For example, if your DM asks you to roll with advantage, you can roll the same d20 2 times, but if you have 2 d20s, you can roll them together at the same time. Similarly, if you want to cast Fireball, it does 8d6 points of damage. This means you must roll a d6 8 times and sum all of the numbers. But if you have 8 d6s at hand, you can also save some time by rolling them all together. You may have noticed there are 2 d10 in my little dice roster here. This happens because your DM might ask you to roll a percentile die, or a d100. This means that they need you to roll a number between 1 and 100. One way to do this would be to roll 2d10 and define 1 as the tenths before the roll. However, you can also buy these specific dice which already have the tenths specified, so all you have to do is sum the 2 numbers. And that's it, you don't need anything else to play D&D. Well, except for friends and a venue, but apart from that, Miniatures, terrain, props, supplements, and everything else, it's just a bonus, not a must-have. But here's the thing, just the player's handbook alone can cost between 20 to 50 euros or dollars depending on where you live and where you buy it. And that's a big investment if you never played the game and you're not even sure you're gonna like it. Don't let this discourage you from playing D&D. First of all, for your first session, it's perfectly fine to show up with nothing else aside from your character. Many DMs carry extra dice sets to lend to rookie players in their first sessions, and no one will really expect you to show up with a player's handbook bought and memorized. After your first few sessions, you will kinda be expected to get your own material instead of borrowing all the time. It's only polite. But even then, there are ways to play D&D for free. The handbook is by far the most expensive, but for new players interested in trying out the game, Wizards of the Coast, the company who owns D&D, has a free PDF available in their website called Player Basic Rules. Within that document, not only will you find all the rules you need to start playing the game right away, you also have a character creation section with a few options for you to build your first character. The major downsides of using this free PDF are the fact it has no artwork, and believe me, the art in D&D books is pretty good, and that it gives you much less options to create your character. For example, in the player's handbook, you can choose between 9 ancestries. In the basic rules PDF, you can only choose between 4. The same happens for classes. The handbook has 12, the basic rules only has 4. However, even if you ignore the fact that each class has subclasses, just within this free PDF you have 16 different ancestry class combinations. And with that many characters, you can play D&D for years without it ever becoming boring or repetitive. Besides, we're trying to be on budget, right? I've already stated that the character sheet is free, so we got that covered, but remember how I said that some apps allowed you to make automatic rolls from the character sheet? Well, if you don't want to buy a dice set, that can be an option for you to make rolls. Alternatively, you can download a free app just for dice rolling. For example, I use RPG Simple Dice, and it serves me quite well. Hell, even Google can roll dice for you if you Google Roll1d20. So you replace the player's handbook with the basic rules free PDF, physical dice with an app, and you download a free character sheet. There you go, you can play D&D for free now. The beauty of it is that if you get hooked into the game, eventually you yourself will want to expand your arsenal of options and buy the books, or you will buy a set of dice just to experience that very satisfying feeling of rolling. After all, they're pretty things to have and they're not that expensive. But it can all be done at your pace. Now, if you're a DM and you're just starting out, you probably need just a few extra materials. I will make a video just like this in the future for DMs, so if you're from that future, you will see it appearing on the top right corner of your screen right now. Anyways, I hope this was useful and that you understood that you don't need to pay top dollar to play D&D. As someone who struggled financially for many years, I sympathize with people who do want to play, but feel hesitant when they realize how much the books cost, be it for simply not having the money to buy it, or just not wanting to place another burden on the family. But rest assured, this game should not be for the elites, and money shouldn't be a detriment for you to start weaving your own stories. If you like this video, give me a pat on the back by dropping a like and subscribing for more. There's more videos for you to see as well. I'd love for you to stick around. Follow me on social media too for more stuff, mainly my art, and most of all, thank you for watching. I'm the first Arcadian, and first learn stand, then learn fly. Nature rule, Daniel-san, not mine.